morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. Today we're finishing up the discussion of the presence of God transforms you. In Mark's Gospel, in Mark 13, Jesus speaking, then as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Teacher, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here." And Jesus answered and said, Do you not see these great buildings? Well, not one stone shall be left upon another that shall not be thrown down. In other words, don't count on the edifices and the buildings and the structures of men. Count on the structures of God. And you say, what about the temple? It was destroyed. Well, the Roman soldiers were told that the Jews had hid gold between the stones, and they literally pried the stones apart of the temple to try to find the gold. But my Bible says that on earth as it is in heaven, see, that's what my Bible says, and I'm sure yours does too, that God intends for a little bit of heaven to be here and to be in his presence. And that's what transforms us. That's what changes us. Acts chapter 19, this revival is discussed in the Bible. Paul is having a tremendous revival in Ephesus. And for 2 years, they moved into a school and they began to teach, and people were getting saved. All kinds of miracles were occurring. Handkerchiefs and aprons that fell from Paul's body were handed off to the sick, and they got better. I mean, it's just one thing after another, and there was all they burned the books of the magicians. They said they were worth 50,000 pieces of silver. So there's this tremendous revival going on in Ephesus, and all of the surrounding regions were touched. But Paul writes to the church, and he writes the letter to the First Corinthians letter from the middle of the Ephesian revival, and he says this: "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but I have not love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing." So here's Paul saying, look, I'm in the middle of this great revival, and I could be doing nothing but talking about the gifts and about the miracles and slapping myself on the back. But I'm telling you, if you don't have the love of Christ, you have nothing. 1 Corinthians 13, he continues by saying, love never fails. But whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Where there are tongues, they will cease. Where there is knowledge, that means words of knowledge, it will vanish away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. And when that which is perfect has come, then that which is in part will be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know just as I am also known. Now abide faith, hope, love, these three. But the greatest of these is love. Regardless of the manifestations, regardless of the transformations in the presence of God, he says, we need the love of Christ above all things. God bless you guys. We'll see you again next time.